Tonight on Real School, we've got schools for miles, sights for days, and opportunities for a lifetime.
This is our time to shine.
Welcome to Duval's biggest day of the year, the annual Choice Expo. Stay tuned as we go behind the scenes on this once-a-year, one-stop shop event celebrating everyday excellence in all of our schools. Plus, they're off to a running start, putting in plenty of miles on the ground and into their future. Coming up, we're going the distance with Marathon High. Find out why this club is about much more than running. It's about sprinting towards the future. And it's a family's touching time of gratitude as they watch their son go from the hospital bed to the school stage and to an unforgettable surprise.
It really means so much to us that they love our child as much as we do.
It's video you'll only see on Real School, how one school rallied around one of its own in his time of need. We've got those stories and so much more. Real School starts now.
It's the one time of year you can find all of our schools, all of our programs, and all of our successes all under one roof. Welcome to a new episode of Real School. I'm Will Nowak. We begin this evening with our exclusive coverage of the annual Choice Expo. Real School reporter Rishi Kumar is here with the highlights. And Rishi, it seems like this event just keeps getting better and better.
Will, just think about it. You can always learn more about our schools by going online, making some calls, or even visiting in person. But why pass up on the series of fun, face-to-face interactions all in one location? Displays up, materials in place, lots of smiles, and lots of people. Welcome to the Prime Osborne Convention Center.
Use your mind to work hard and get smart.
And a crowd this size can only mean one thing. It's that time of year.
Having that one opportunity for everyone in Jacksonville to come and scout it out. It's a free-for-all.
This year's Choice Expo theme was all about amazing journeys, and we can tell you that this, for sure, was the perfect place to journey to as many schools as you could in one day, whether it was elementary, middle, or high school.
We would have learning experiences to learn about new stuff.
Magnet, Choice, or neighborhood schools, it was all here. For the students searching for more.
I'm looking for early college. I want to experience what college would be like.
And for the family looking to do a little bit of research.
A couple of schools I've learned, that are more science, technology driven. We got some schools that are more hands-on, arts and crafts.
It's an opportunity for us to learn. It's like what each school is offering. And then we can carry this information back and then we can share this with our friends and family.
To aid the crowd in their quest, plenty of principals, teachers, and students were on standby, ready to answer questions. Because at the core of this event were all of the programs, offerings, and opportunities available to each and every student.
There are folks that may not know about Landmark, so we're able to tell people for the first time about Landmark.
But in case you couldn't tell, this event was just as fun as it was informative. I mean, check it out. Guests had plenty of opportunities to go hands-on and all in, with some pretty nifty displays and activities.
I think it's cool, so you can experience different kind of schools.
And if music and performances were your thing, we had plenty of that too. Student-led acts kept our busy attendees on beat with plenty of on-site entertainment. With so many options, it's no wonder families keep coming back for more, and they do so with pride.
Less often do we get an opportunity, number one, to see all the schools in one place, but it's an opportunity for us to shine and for us to spotlight the great things that go on with our school.
We know that even though this is a once-a-year event, we'll continue to feel the effects every single day.
Students can start to pick where they want to be when they grow up, and they're not just relegated to go to their neighborhood school. They can really start to plan their careers.
So, you want to know how many people actually came to the expo? just over 17,800. That sounds like the size of a small town, but we think it's pretty exciting. For Real School, I'm Rishi Kumar. Back to you.
Thanks, Rishi. And just so you know, this is the start of our school choice coverage. You've got to stay tuned for the rest. Later on in the show, we're taking you inside the choice and magnet application process. Hear from a district director about what's new for the 2018-2019 season, including why you'll need to key in on the World Wide Web. You don't want to miss it. This day and age, high school isn't just for earning a diploma. It's also for earning college credit, and for some, associate degrees. Real School anchor Tavion Johnson joins us now with more on the programs putting our students on the fast track.
Well, as long as you're going to high school, why not get a head start on college? You see, here in Duval County, it's not an either-or option. You can do both. Now, here's how. Meet Tavares Clark. Right now, he's a junior at Inglewood, but by the time he graduates,
once I transition to college, I'll actually be a junior and I'll have my associate's degree.
So, how does a student like Tavares leave high school with an associate degree without the added expense?
You're getting an education that people pay thousands of dollars for free, and you're still in high school.
It's all thanks to the district's high school acceleration programs.
They were designed to help shorten the pathway for students interested in completing a 4-year degree.
For Clark, it's the early college program, but for other students, it's ACE, AP Capstone, or IB. All programs that allow students to take challenging college-level courses while in high school.
You're going to go into college most likely already skipping a few of the basic courses that you're going to need to take, so you're saving money, you're prepared for the style of learning.
The good news is that all of our high schools offer at least one of these programs, and the district's leaders say there's plenty of proof they're making the grade. In fact, studies show that high schoolers who participate in these programs tend to be more competitive when applying for college.
I feel like it makes you stand out as a student. It shows that you are a hard worker and you are dedicated. So because these classes are challenging, it makes you stand out from the rest.
Aside from standing out, they're also going into college more prepared.
We know that they tend to fare better once they start college because, again, they're participating in programs and taking courses that are taught at the collegiate level.
One more thing. These students are also more likely to finish college in 4 years or less.
It's a huge advantage because it shows colleges that you are capable of taking these classes and you won't be wasting their time.
So, what are you waiting for? I think it's time you learned more about these programs today. Just ask Tavares.
It's expanded my horizons.
So, if you would like to participate in any of these programs, the first step is applying. To learn more and download an application, visit our website. It's duvalschools.org/HS Acceleration. For Real School, I'm Tavion Johnson. Back to you.
Thanks, Tavion. It's a trip back in time as hundreds of fifth graders come face to face with one of our founding fathers.
I rose to the rank of First Secretary of the Treasury, Major General of the National Army.
We're talking about the one and only Alexander Hamilton. And we were there as he made a special guest appearance at the Jacksonville Public Library. Okay, clearly we don't have a time machine, and that's not really him. But what we do have is an educational event put on by the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America. About 1,500 students from around the district were invited to one of 4 sessions. Actor Eben Coons never broke character, speaking to students about the foundations of the country, and even bringing some lucky kids up for some activities and show and tell. Pretty cool. Subjects like science, reading, and math have never been so sweet. And it's all thanks to the culinary talents of a young, up-and-coming chef. Real School reporter Jackson Copeland is here with more on how one student is putting these subjects and more on the menu.
Will, we're talking about recipes that have put this young chef on the map and on the airwaves, as in national television. The best part, she's got a taste for student success.
Kneading dough, drawing pictures, and surfing the World Wide Web. They're all probably the last things you'd expect to happen inside this math class at Darnell Cookman. But right now, we give you the permission to expect the unexpected.
So you have solid, liquid, and gas.
What you're looking at is an extreme baking session being led by student Simone Bridges and her family.
It's going to go technology, reading.
STREAM stands for science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and mathematics. And the baking aspect comes from the family business, the Goddess Food Factory. For a little over a year, the middle schooler has been at the helm of a bakery that hosts classes, parties, and of course, makes lots of sweet treats. But what makes this entrepreneur exceptional is an emphasis on education.
I used to struggle with language arts, but now that I done tied it into baking, I have over 100 inside of language arts. I have a 108%. So that could help other kids also. So I figured, why not put it out there?
Bridges says her culinary journey began when she was just 3 years old and would help her grandma in the kitchen. Over time, it became obvious that baking was beckoning her to more. And so, a little over a year ago, a business was born. With classroom activities like this, students rotate from station to station and must complete a list of specific academically inspired tasks.
Educator is going to help you whatever avenue, whatever road you take. At some point, the background is going to be educated, and that's what's going to help you push you further in life.
And guys, even though she's local, this baker definitely takes her show on the road and has been all over the country. Speaking of shows, she was recently a guest on a pretty popular one, The Steve Harvey Show. Isn't that neat?
Kind of surprising, because I never would have expected this to come out.
What shouldn't be surprising is that outside of wanting to encourage all students, Bridges also wants to be a role model for girls.
We need more women in higher positions so they can have something to look up to.
I like to empower other little girls and say that you can do it as long as you put your heart, mind, and soul into it. Because first you have to dream, believe, then achieve it.
And with a real-world recipe like this, we can tell Bridges is earning a ton of brownie points, both in and out of the kitchen.
You can't never have anybody to tell you that you can't do anything. You can do it, because this is something that's in your heart and in your soul.
One more thing, the Goddess Food Factory also produces extreme baking subscription boxes. And for each month, you can get a package full of fun recipes and educational activities. For Real School, I'm Jackson Copeland. Back to you.
Thanks, Jackson. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but in the face of a life-threatening condition, we see one school become much more than that for one of its students. Coming up on Real School, it's a moving story out of J. Allen Axon. Find out how this school play became a source of hope and inspiration for a special young boy. Watch for the special moments and a huge surprise after the break. Plus, it's a season to shop for schools. But do you know what it takes to get in? In just moments, we're going one-on-one with the Director of School Choice, answering your top questions about the application process. Don't change the channel. Real School will be right back.
A look inside your public schools. Gee whiz, that looks fun and educational. Well, that was then and this is now. Times have changed in Duval County, and so have your options. Our students are programming robots in STEM and learning career trades like construction. They're attending military leadership academies and enrolling in sports medicine, management, and broadcast programs. With so many neighborhood, magnet, and choice options, we don't have time to name them all. But we do have something unique for every student. Discover today's Duval County Public Schools.
Welcome back to Real School. The students in our next story are crossing the finish line on some amazing accomplishments, combining athleticism and acceptance. Real School reporter Tanaj Davis is on her mark, set, and ready to give us the scoop. Hey Tanaj.
Will, each time these students lace up and hit the pavement, they're doing much more than putting in the miles. They're gaining valuable experiences sure to stay with them for the long run. Whether they're bundled up on a freezing winter morning or running in the hot Florida sun, you can always count on these students to go the distance. They're racking up lots of miles, but most importantly, they're gaining a lot of memories.
Marathon High, it is a family.
Marathon High is like a running family.
Being a part of something that is and it works like a family.
Marathon High is a regional, non-profit after-school program. More than a dozen of our district's high schools participate, including Sandalwood High School. Students spend a few days each week running in groups, building up their endurance, and participating in local races. The ultimate goal for each student is to train for and run in a half marathon. And guess what? Being a great runner, or even an experienced one, isn't a requirement.
As long as a kid is willing to work through being there and
showing up, putting in their miles, we will not give up on a kid.
Marathon High is open to all students and it's non-competitive. In fact, according to the website, the program targets at-risk teens, many who have never considered themselves athletes. Leaders find that as students work towards the half marathon, they begin to win at another race, one that includes goal setting, self-discipline, confidence, and new friendships.
Throughout the entire process, they bond, they become a family, the runners, the coaches, we get to know our kids and ultimately see them accomplish a goal that a lot of people never complete or finish a half marathon in their life. So to see high school kids come together and struggle through training 3 days a week, it becomes so much more than running.
And in speaking to these students, we learned that Marathon High really has impacted their lives, from the tennis shoes up. That includes being more active.
You did it, and you should feel accomplished that you made it.
Coming out of their shells.
When I first got here, I was like really shy and really awkward, but after a while, I kind of warmed up to people, started making new friends.
And developing a love for running.
Before I joined Marathon High, I didn't run at all, but after my first year, I came back for my second year, and I also joined cross country because I just loved running so much.
Thanks to Marathon High, it looks like these students really are hitting the ground running and racing into a bright future.
Our program centers around running, but at the end of the day, we want our kids to be involved. Running is just our vehicle to get everyone together.
Marathon High may be not competitive, but that doesn't mean these students don't know how to win. In fact, last year, a Marathon High student won the entire Donut Half Marathon. There he is, Sandalwood High School graduate Terrence Sessoms, a Marathon High runner and the youngest person to ever win the Donut Half Marathon. How cool is that? For Real School, I'm Tanaj Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Tanaj. Now for our continuing coverage of the Choice Expo. You've been checking out schools, and now you're ready to make a decision. But what you may be wondering, what's next? And how do I handle the application process? We sat down with our Director of School Choice for some Q&A. This year, when it comes to magnet applications, be sure to get online.
The first thing they need to know is we are encouraging everyone to do it online. If you come into our office and want to submit a paper application, we will actually take you into our kiosk room and we'll have you create your parent account, link you to your child, and then let you do your application online. The beauty of online application is you get an email receipt. You can log back in at any time, make any changes you want, check and make sure you got your tour priority, check and make sure you got your sibling priority, whatever you're entitled to, you can go in and check. Right now it's for all magnet schools. The only exceptions are going to be our pre-K magnet programs at Johnny Ford and J. Allen Axon. They will still remain paper. And then we have 2 dual language programs, so the San Jose Elementary and West Riverside Elementary. They will still have to apply at the school using the paper application. And then Douglas Anderson, it's always audition only. You do that right at the school. The deadline for the online application is February 28th at 11:59 p.m. We will shut down the process. If you do have to turn in a paper application, that deadline is still the 28th, but it's at 4:30 p.m. in our office.
Keep in mind that to apply online, parents must have their own Focus account.
In the past, we've always had online options, and some of our parents have applied using their child's Focus login. Well, this year we've blocked the students' logins, so the parent definitely needs to create their own account. Once they have that account, we can link them up with their child, and then they can submit those applications.
Here's what you need to know about choice applications.
There is a second lottery. This year, we're pretty sure it's going to remain paper only. We're trying really hard to put this one online, but it looks like it could be next year. So right now, we're seeing paper applications for choice. The difference is you only get one choice with the choice lottery, whereas magnet, you can choose up to 3 schools. So parents need to know that. Also, we need parents to know that if you apply for a magnet school and you get in, if you submit a choice application, it will cancel your magnet assignment, so be careful.
Finally, if you have any other questions.
Well, we have an email account that I monitor myself. That email is school_choice@duvalschools.org. It's on our website. We're usually good about between 1 and 2 days we'll respond to your emails. Any questions at all, I'll answer your questions.
For more about applications, deadlines, and other important info, be sure to head to the Choice and Magnet website. The link is on your screen. It's duvalschools.org/schoolchoice. Now that we're past the winter holidays, It may seem a little out of season to take in a performance of the Nutcracker, but when you find out the why behind this production, well, we think you'll change your mind. Here's Real School anchor Gracie Marsh with the story.
Will, it's not so much about the why, but the who. This is a story of a school coming together in the name of a 5-year-old with a rare disease, making some wishes for him and his family come true. Little ballerinas, snowflakes, and elves. They all make for standout moments in J. Allen Axon's annual production of the Nutcracker. But look a little closer and you'll see one Spanish soldier stealing some tears from the front row. This is Colin Soboleski, and that's his family. Believe it or not, there was a time they didn't think his performance would happen.
They did it today so I could be in it.
You see, this bright, bubbly kindergartner has a rare condition called malaise. It's a severe softening of tissues and organs that led to difficult breathing and some life-threatening moments for Colin. As the family searched for answers, they eventually learned of a Boston doctor known for treating the disease.
So I sent a desperate email saying that I was really in grave fear for my child's life and please help me. And within hours he responded. He's amazing. And they were able to get us in very quickly.
The Soboleskis began making multiple trips to Boston for treatments and for surgery. Colin was not only missing school, but he would also be forced to miss his chance to appear in his class performance of the Nutcracker.
They had gone through so much in 6 months, and you could just see the weariness on Colin's face, and you could hear it in Maureen's voice. We love them, we love him, and we had to do something.
One thing they did was make and sell these Army Survivor bracelets called Colin's bracelets. Students raised close to $2,000 to help the family. But that's not it. They also sent Colin and his family this surprise message while they were in Boston.
When you get back from Boston in January, we're gonna do the Nutcracker again so you can be in it.
And guys, that's how Colin ended up on this stage as a Spanish soldier in the Nutcracker in January. We could say that's the end of the story, but there's more.
We saw the wish machine because we were getting my mom's
And we wish
computer
for Colin's health to be better.
Genesis and Thomas Smith are students who know the Soboleskis and wanted to help. They nominated them to become wish recipients at the Microsoft store at the town center. And guess what? Their wish was granted in a big surprise after Colin's show-stopping performance.
Here's a little something to help you along.
Guys, that's a $3,000 check. Can you believe it?
I can't believe they raised $3,000 for us and my family.
When you go through hardship, it's so hard and you're just surviving and you're just existing. But then you have these blessings that come and these people that are like earthly angels that just show up for you. And obviously it's meant a lot to our family. We're very, very grateful.
We could truly go on and on about the many other ways the school really came together to support this family. One thing we know for sure, that help made a huge difference, and we think it's all amazing. For Real School, I'm Gracie Marsh. Back to you.
Thanks, Gracie. We're entering our final stretch of Real School, which means it's time for us to hit the books with one of our top-notch teachers. Meet Paige Marshall. She says she's mad about math, but even more passionate about her students. Keep it here as we go behind the scenes with this exceptional educator. Don't change the channel. Real School will be right back.
A look inside your public schools. Gee whiz, that looks fun and educational. Well, that was then and this is now. Times have changed in Duval County and so have your options. Our students are programming robots in STEM and learning career trades like construction. They're attending military leadership academies and enrolling in sports medicine, management, and broadcast programs. With so many neighborhood, magnet, and choice options, we don't have time to name them all. But we do have something unique for every student. Discover today's Duval County Public Schools.
Our final story of the day takes us to a classroom where the numbers and formulas of math are just the beginning. It's this month's teacher feature, and today we introduce you to an educator who says there's much more to the equation than academics. Here's her story in her own words.
Hi, my name is Paige Marshall, and I teach algebra and geometry at Inglewood High School. I'm a dork at heart. I'm a really big dork. I love sci-fi movies and pop culture, and so I get excited about math. You know, I get excited when an equation is really complicated. Rounds that 4 up, but it works out in the end, and I show that enthusiasm to my students. And at first they laugh at me like, is she really excited about this? But then they start to get excited too. And then they stop and they go, wait, this is math. Why am I excited about this? Watching their eyes light up when they get it right is really what keeps me going every day. Because adjacent means beside, right? I'm adjacent to Michael, right? A lot of times kids come to math with this, I can't do this, right? I'm bad at math. Sign A. I'm a firm believer that nobody is bad at math. People just have low confidence about their math abilities. And I get that question all the time. When am I ever gonna need this? Why do I need to know how to do this? And my constant answer is math is not about the adding and subtracting, it's about the thought process. It's about the reasoning skills. Do you have the perseverance to work out a really hard problem, and can you get to the end? Can you follow the steps, step by step, all the way to the end because you understand the rules? Sine inverse, cosine inverse, tangent inverse, right?
She firmly believes if she can get them to trust her and want to be there every day, the learning will take place. So she builds that foundation and they learn. I can relate to the child in the class that doesn't want to be there, that has never been good at math. So when I find myself being able to work with a math teacher like Paige Marshall, it is that much more important for me to support them because she turns these students around. She is not satisfied unless they all reach their potential.
My kids are my favorite thing. They have the best personalities. They're so funny and they're so excited about the world around them. I think a lot of times people get annoyed by teenagers because they're in this weird developmental stage. But as soon as you crack that little eggshell, all they want is for somebody to tell them, you are special, you are loved. I hope that when my students look back on their experience in my classroom, what they see is an adult who cared. Not about their grades, but who cared about them as people.
Guys, that's it for this episode of Real School, but don't worry, we'll be right back before you know it. Our next episode premieres Sunday, March 4th at 6 p.m. right here on the CW. In the meantime, you can always stay up to date by visiting our website and following DCPS on social media. Until then, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. And remember, Duval, keep it fresh.
Fun, face-to-face interactions in the convenience of one central Villas.
I'm Tanaj Davis. Back to you.
One more thing, the Goddess Food Factory has